going to really look at our career fit, and I'm going to really focus on the MBTI methodology of matching careers with your MBTI personality type. We really want to understand ourselves, and the better you understand yourself, the better your decisions will be, and the more effective you're going to be in your career and your professional life. Your personality preferences are going to aid you in the choices you make and help you decide what you want to do and how to improve your ability to get what you want out of life, especially that career, right? Of course, MBTI is not the only resource you can use, but it's the one that I'm going to focus on here. There are a variety of options such as the Holland Code, the Strong Interest Inventory, ONET, but the more essential information to consider in your career development is your abilities, your skills, your personality, your interests, your values, and even information about the job. You want to really look at the availability. For instance, it'd be kind of silly for you to decide to be a marine biologist in an area that was landlocked, right? Maybe you want to look at education needed. Maybe you only have a high school education and you don't want a PhD, or you have a PhD and maybe that job is only for high school students. You want to look at the salary. Can you live off of what you're going to make? The growth potential. Is this a job that's going to just disappear? For instance, a meter reader? Yeah, that one is pretty much disappearing, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that soon. We want to look at the tasks and even the daily work responsibilities for each of these jobs. So one of my favorite things is really to look at that cross section between the interests, the skills, and the abilities. That little bitty space in the middle of all three of those circles, that's where you want to focus. That's the job that you want. The one that touches your skills, your interests, and your abilities. This is what I call a passion, a career passion. When you can get a cross-section of all of these, you have a great desire to really fulfill and to participate in that career. At our MBTI career preferences, we want to look at where do I get my energy. An extrovert is really going to like to talk over each step. They're a verbal person, and they're going to discover their strengths and career choices by discussing it with others. Whereas an introvert is going to carefully think out options on their own and will only announce a choice after having a lot of time to reflect and maybe even evaluating and weighing those pros and cons. So let's look at where we gather your information. Are you a sensing person versus an intuition person? If you're sensing, you're more interested in the facts of the job, salary, benefits, location, and you want something right away. If you're an intuition person, you're more interested in the potential. Where is it going? Are you on the right path? What's the vision? What could this job be in 5 years, 10 years, or even 2 months down the road? So how do you make your decisions? How I make my decisions falls into thinking and feeling preferences. A thinking preference is going to be someone who looks logically at everything, and they want to consider every option before they really make a correct decision. These are people who will be the list maker of the pros and the cons. The feeling preference reflects what is most important to that individual. It's going to consider how the decision is going to impact everybody around them. They're going to say, how's it going to affect me, my family, my friends, maybe even your next door neighbor. How do you deal with the outer world? This is a great question to think about when you're looking at your career preference. Are you a judger versus a perceiver? If you're a judger, you're going to look at and put goals in mind within a certain amount of time frame. Maybe you're going to say, in 6 months, I want to be a teacher at a community college in the Phoenix Valley. Or maybe your career goal is just the end goal, one that's going to be measured out over time, which means that you're going to have step-by-step methodology in order to get where you want to be. A perceiver does the opposite. They kind of dream about it. I wonder where I'm going to be. And their career goals are very flexible. As you go through and you look at each of these things, be sure to figure out what your preferences are. How does your career fit in with your personality?